Welcome to Pull the Pin Already, a place where you're guaranteed to get a veteran's opinion, whether you like it or not. How's that?
I love it.
I'm Jim.
Whether you want it or not, we're going to give it to you
Yes, but you
anyways.
notice I had to say a veteran. This way, if we start opening the show up to non-veterans, people won't be like, "Hey, you're just lying," and whatever. It's our opinions. Our opinions are always truth. Um, so yeah, I've changed that. But the problem is, I'll probably forget it by next episode. So I didn't write it down either. Just winged it. So welcome back. I don't know what's your name today. I guess you're still the same, some young guy or something.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
can't. I can't remember what my name is
whatever you are.
anymore.
I don't know why you don't just use
Name
James,
again.
right? Jim and James.
Name again. I
Jim
don't
and
know.
James. Anyways, we'll move on. So anyway, I just am thankful you're here. To all of our original and loyal followers, Johnny, Christine, you know you are. We appreciate your patience and you hanging with us. Again, feels like every episode I have to tell you that we don't have the time and I need to find more dedicated veterans to come and help out. Until then, we're just going to bring out what we can when we can. So that's what we're doing right here. And we are, again, to Johnny's request, because Johnny loves the headlines. We're going to start doing some headlines this episode, right?
Yes. I like headlines much better than butt lines.
How about tan lines? How about
That does.
Brazilian wax
I was going to
lines?
say, yeah. See that? Ooh, it holds a special place in my veteran heart.
Yes, yes. And that's not all. But let's just go ahead, because I don't even have the ticker going. See how bad I am here? Look, I'm not even got our website's not even flowing. Oh, I need some help in here. But let's do it. Let's go ahead and get started on some headlines. Tan lines, tail lines, whatever it is we got to talk about. Flight lines, we can do that too. Get you some flight lines,
Party lines.
party lines, yeah, whatever it
Woo.
is. Only fan lines, no, that's not a thing. All right, Congo lines, that's a thing.
Hey,
We could just have a whole episode on lines, right? Coke lines. Didn't even think of that one, right?
hurry up and wait lines.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what else. All right. Anyways, zip lines. All right. All right. This is going to really bother me now. So let's just move on to the headline. Inmate CNN helped free from Syrian prison turns out to be notorious Assad regime torturer. Did you see this?
No, like
So let me
why
tell you what happened.
wait, hang on a sec.
What?
First, why is CNN helping anybody out of a Syrian prison? Like, did they lose a bet? Does this guy owe them money? I mean,
Well,
like, send it for them.
this was after everything was, Assad was overthrown and whatever, so forth, all that stuff. And I'm not even sure 100% what is true and what's not, because you know how this media stuff works. But supposedly, CNN showed up and they opened the door for this prisoner, letting him escape. Everybody believes they staged it because the guy came out and he's like, oh, the sun, like he'd been in there for, so long he hadn't seen the sun. But people were commenting that like the guy's got clean hair, clean shaven, like so everybody thought they just staged this to come up with some little CNN, oh look at us, we're doing this. And then the story flipped, and I don't know how true it is, but now they flipped because now they're saying the guy that they let out is clearly an Assad torturer. So it was like it's one thing to go ahead and pretend you're rescuing somebody, and then to
Is that
find out who
job
you're
title?
rescuing, huh?
Is that his official job title?
I guess. I mean, might have had his name
My
tag on
name's
said
my name's
regime torturer.
Habib. My name and I'm a regime torturer.
Does he torture the whole regime, or does he torture on behalf of the regime?
I uh, I'm assuming the latter, but now I'm questioning that.
Yeah. So either way, we all know CNN's notorious for fake news, and it's so funny too because remember when CNN used to be like the go-to news, and they've got caught with a lot of stuff,
I think
faking.
Ted Turner still owned him.
Yeah, right. And then they got caught faking like flood stuff, all this stuff. I mean, they got caught a lot of stuff, but people still watch them. I don't understand why. How many times does somebody have to lie to you before you're like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't watch them?
I mean, there's always been corruption in the media. I mean, for as long, like, I mean, even pre-TV. I mean, back in the newspaper days, they were,
Of course.
sensationalizing stories for sales. But I mean, when you take that level of competition and then you ratchet it up, like Ted Turner did, to go, oh my God, we're getting to a point now where I'm going to put you guys to the task firing 24 hours worth of news every single day. It's like,
You're getting distorted. I can't hear you, Mike.
no, I'm not, I don't know why, but
Oh, it must be the lag
I
then.
mean, yeah, but it's
There you
like,
go.
when you have to find 24 hours worth of news every 24 hours, yeah,
Hmm.
people are going to start getting desperate and they're going to start making stories where there aren't stories, or
Sure.
taking a mountain and or a molehill and making a mountain out of it. I mean, it's what you got to do when you're given the task of filling 24 hours worth of news
But
every fucking day.
Well, but see, so that's my question too, and I'm glad you brought that up because I understand and I've seen it happen. Like for example, with the Black Lives stuff, you know what I mean? The black cops getting killed, the white or the white on black crime. Like you would think there's enough crime to keep people engaged and sensationalized, but I guess people don't want to see black on black crime, white on white crime. That the only thing you're going to report is when a white cop shoots a black guy, or like you think you wouldn't have to just sell that, but I guess that is what they do. So
Yeah, because it's the reality of it is that the news agencies, they don't care that this person's been hurt, they don't care that he's been abused, because like you said, there, I'm sure there's plenty of white people or Hispanic people or Asian people or Native American people or whatever people that have gotten the shit beat out of them by a piece of shit cop too, but nobody cares because they don't actually care about the person that got the shit beat out of them. They care about stirring up shit. And what stirs up more shit is the that specific white on black racial component. That's what stirs up the shit. Not white on Hispanic, not black on white, not black
right.
on Hispanic, not Asian on Hispanic, not Hispanic on Asian, right? That's not what stirs the pot.
Well, I
Because
get it. I understand the human, psyche. Even like
but
when
I
you go to
mean,
race cars, right? 100
yeah,
laps, nobody cares. That one crash, and everybody's like, "Ooh!"
bingo.
Right. So I understand that. I think at some point, though, you can probably find real news stories and not have to just keep going to the same old bucket of racism,
Chill.
all that stuff. And even that's starting to get old. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Oh,
understand why they
dude,
keep
no, that
going.
shit was old fucking 50 years ago.
Right. But well, they keep it going though. That's the problem. And it's still inciting enough people to be like, oh, this is a serious problem. But anyways, all right. Anyway, this is hilarious. I love watching CNN fall on their face because they're a joke, and I don't know why anybody watches them anymore. Anyway, so let's get to the next one. Florida State Senator introduces bill to ban Black Lives Matter and alphabet flags from government buildings.
Uh, why would any of those flags be flying at a government building anyway?
I, I don't know. I guess for example, government building near with me, they've got the American flag and the POW flag. Now I understand the connection. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because those POWs were there because of the government. So
Right.
if it wasn't for the government, those people wouldn't be POWs.
Now I guess those POWs could have been black or gay, or black and gay, but
But that
that's
one flag
still
encompasses all of them. They don't need to be specified by.
correct. I was gonna say that's one step too far removed. I think that is totally relevant. So you're right. So I don't know why we need a bill for this, but I guess the wokeness, the woke virus took over, and I guess now we got to declare it.
Well, I mean, so like here's the thing, like if you want to support Black Lives Matter, okay, that's your decision. If you want to support alphabet people, okay, that's your decision. Whatever. I don't think any flag should be flying on a government building outside of the flags that represent that government. I mean, I'm not
Mhm.
saying I don't want to see an Olympic flag hanging outside of my state capitol. I don't
Right.
want to see, you know, uh, 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 it,
Religious flag, right? These are the
yeah.
same
I,
people
I
that
mean, I,
say
I I don't want
church
to
and
see a
state.
Carolina Panthers flag
Right.
flying outside, and I'm a fan. But I don't want to see that flying on my state capitol because
Right.
it has no business being there.
That's what I'm saying. So these are the same people that say, "Oh, that's church and state separation, blah blah blah. We don't
Yeah,
want your religion in our da, da, da," and then they're going to go put a gay pride flag right on the Capitol. Like,
but
how
I
is
mean,
that
but
different?
yeah, but yeah. Well, I mean, exactly. It goes like the only flag that should be flying on a government building is, again, the governments that are represented within that building. If this is the state of Florida, they should have a United States flag. They should have a state of Florida flag.
Right,
Um, and the POWMIA flag. Like I get that. Again, because those people wouldn't be in the position that they're in if it wasn't for that government. So like that I
right.
get. But beyond that, yeah, there's not really
Well,
any flag that
government
belongs on a
government might
government
make you
building
gay.
except, well, God knows they fuck you in the ass enough.
Right,
I'm
right.
sure somebody likes it.
I don't know if they've ever made anybody black though, so yeah, I don't know if that's ever happened. But,
Black and blue, maybe.
but yeah, but that's true. Yeah. All right, I think enough said. I think we both agree you need to get it off anyway. But there shouldn't be a bill. There should be already a rule what flags fly,
Well,
isn't there?
yeah, well, here's the thing, right? Because as an American, you're free to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, as long as whatever it is that you're doing doesn't infringe upon the rights of somebody else. And so when that does, the only way to prevent someone from doing that thing is to make a law against it, which is where we've gotten into this gradual degradation of individual liberties because anyways,
Well,
that's a whole
but
other
yeah,
soap
you're right. But
speech.
everybody can have an opinion. Everybody can have all that stuff. They tell you when you work for the government, though, you represent all the people. You shouldn't be
Correct.
having taken a side, picking it. You shouldn't have any of that stuff. So I don't know why the government would be in the business of picking anything anyway.
Well, I mean, obviously, this is a bill for a reason because somebody somewhere in the state of Florida is flying these flags on a government building,
Right.
and whoever it is that's doing it is obviously making the argument that, well, show me the reg where it says I can't do that. Okay,
Yeah.
so now,
Right.
and that's where the shit comes from.
Yeah. It makes sense. All right, let's go to the next one because I want to get to this. Bernie Sanders says Biden should seriously consider preventive pardons.
I'm sorry, preventive
You,
pardons.
you have no idea what he's did. This is what the talk has been. Pardoning a whole bunch of people that they think Trump is going to go after for what? Made up crimes? Or,
Well, that's the thing, though. You can't pardon somebody from a crime they haven't committed.
hmm,
So, if you're going to go out and accept a pardon, then okay, great, good for you. You might not go to prison, but everybody is going to know that your acceptance is, predicated on the assumption that you're accepting blame for whatever it is that you're taking a pardon for.
well, but you saw this setup coming, right? You saw the setup coming. And this is why I have
Well,
a
I mean,
really
look,
on this.
every president has pardoned people on the way out. Every single
Sure,
fucking one of them. They all
sure.
do it.
Yeah, when some of them make sense, some of them, okay, all the people in these, jails for petty crimes that serve, they all make sense. And as we're finding out, the J6 people who are wrongly, treated because of government corruption, but some of them make sense. But they're trying to make the narrative that Trump's coming in to go after his political rivals. Now, think about this. What have you heard during Trump's first presidency?
Well, here's the
Lock her up, right? So Hillary Clinton literally committed crimes punishable, and he didn't go after her,
yeah.
right? So now they want you to believe this time he's going to go after all these people. So
Well,
we got to
yeah. I
protect
mean,
them because they're
I
going to
feel
make up crimes to go
right.
after them for.
So yeah, everybody. I feel like everybody in America has completely forgotten about the whole, Hillary Clinton email server thing. Okay, I haven't forgotten that one. Okay, that one's still right up here. Okay, but
Mhm.
yes, that was criminal on. Oh Jesus, somebody did a count, and I want to say it was like, in the thousands of charges or whatever that she could have gotten for
But you
this
know this
email
though,
thing.
right? Look,
But
so
like, yeah, yeah, he didn't go after her. Then he had the perfect opportunity. But still, even okay, even if he is gonna go after his rivals with made up crimes, blah blah blah. Okay, so let's uh let's grant that assumption for a second. Again, you can't pardon someone without them in turn admitting that they committed a crime. You can't say, Jim, I'm going to pardon you for a murder, and you go, well, goddamn, Joe, I haven't committed any murders, so
Can you
I
wait
don't
till
need to be
tomorrow?
pardoned.
Can you do this tomorrow?
Yeah,
Give me 24
exactly.
hours. I'll be right back.
Well, exactly. So it's like, you can't, the acceptance of the pardon is in and of itself acceptance of guilt.
Sure,
Now,
sure.
it might not be legal guilt, but everybody who accepts that pardon will now be public knowledge that, oh, everybody knows that, Nancy Pelosi did this because she accepted the pardon. If she took the pardon, then obviously she did it, right? Because why else would she have taken the pardon if she wasn't guilty of, because, right?
But does it matter though? Does
You
it
can't have
matter?
a chicken with no egg.
Does it matter though? This is my point because just like what you just said, you literally watched an entire half of this country knowingly see that Hillary Clinton committed crimes, got away with it, but then the first thing they want to do is a convicted felon going to be president. You literally had a
Well,
felon
well,
try to be president who didn't get charged. And now they're talking about what Trump did that's a bunch of garbage, made up crap that they had to finagle to make them crimes. But these people will so it doesn't matter. These people, it doesn't, you can bring them to the water. They can't see it. They can't. The evidence is right there and they can't see it. So it doesn't matter.
but
So let's just start
But
this
here's the thing,
precedence.
okay? 99.9% of your population are not the zealous followers, right? Most of your population, I'd say, we'll go conservatively, right? Because that's what your show's all about, right?
Oh yeah. Conservatism.
But no, I mean, I'd say at least 80% of Americans are somewhere in the middle. They're not zealously blue. They're not zealously red. They might even flip flop on their votes. Right. And
Mm,
so, you've got people, in Nancy Pelosi's, I like to pick on her just because I think she's an asshole. But like,
I
you've
can't
got
stand
people.
her.
Yeah, I know. I think she's a complete piece of crap. But at any rate, like you've got people in Nancy Pelosi's district who are voting for her because she's just been their gal for fuck. How long has she been there?
But
30
are they
years?
voting for her? Like, maybe they don't even vote for her. Maybe it's like the AOC thing. They
I
figured
would, I
out how
would,
many people were voting, and then they just got a whole bunch of those votes that people weren't voting, and they say,
but I
hey,
mean, I would be surprised if she even has opposition in most of her races. I
well,
mean,
right,
certainly not for her own party. I guarantee you that.
right.
But you get enough of the masses, let's say hypothetically she accepts this pardon for whatever, unbeknownst crime or whatever, and enough people go, fuck, she did how much insider trading? Like she made how much money off of this doing
Yeah,
dirty
but these people
backdoor
know that.
government
I don't
deals,
even think
blah blah
that's
blah blah.
illegal,
No,
though.
no, 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 no. Oh, it absolutely is. It absolutely is.
Well, she's the one that came out and said it's not illegal. That's why they're trying to get a law.
Tell that to Martha Stewart.
Oh, but Martha Stewart's a civilian.
Well,
It's illegal for
exactly.
you to do it. It's not illegal for the
Well,
government to do it.
no, it's illegal for everybody to do it,
I don't think
and
so,
and
dude.
and it's one thing for everybody to to think. It's one thing for everybody to believe. It's even one thing for everybody to highly suspect. Okay, but when you basically admit it, you come out and you say, "Yep, I'm going to go ahead and take that pardon now because I know what I've done." Everybody says, "Aha! Now what I thought I knew. I now know I know."
Yeah, but the narrative is, dude,
And
that Trump's going
no,
to
dude, I
accuse me of
see.
stuff I didn't do.
But again, you can't accept a pardon for something you didn't do. You
They,
have to be
they can,
found
dude.
guilty of a crime in order to get a pardon for it.
Well, then how does Hunter get his sweet deal of not the crimes he's been, but also back to his Burisma time? He hasn't been charged with any Burisma time.
That's what I honestly I don't think that's legitimate.
Well, they did it, and let's not belabor the point. Let's not beat the dead horse. the problem here is that we're setting a precedence. At what
Well,
point can
yeah,
a president come in and
that's
say,
exactly what we're doing.
I'm
Yeah,
going to pardon all my staff from here until eternity?
yeah. And I'm going to pardon their heirs for 3 generations.
Right. Like, yeah, at what point, like, I personally,
That's
like,
called aristocracy. That's what
yeah,
that is.
yeah, I personally am not opposed to the pardon per se. I definitely think it should not be done within your last year. It should not be allowed in your last, you should have something to lose for it. You know what I mean? Where if
No,
you're,
you know what? I'm not. I won't even go that far with it. But I will say, if you're going to give a pardon, it has to be as specific as the criteria in which it is to get a conviction. It needs to be as specific a criteria to undo that. Right. So, for example, if you get charged with a crime that is uh,
it's to stop a rogue court. It's to stop a rogue judicial system, just like the January 6th. The judicial
right.
system went rogue on January 6th and started charging all these people who now later on you find out the feds had a lot to do with what happened on January 6th. Those people were wrongly persecuted. That's what the whole purpose of the pardon was, I think, supposed to be for. Not just to let your friends off the hook who
Well,
enabled your crimes.
Well, I mean, and I think it's even there for, if you know, I feel like there are other scenarios where a pardon I think can be practical, right? I'm not going to delve into all that because that's a whole other ball of wax. But like, you know, I I I feel like as as legally driven as we are as a country as a whole, we're all about, loopholes. And and again, we were talking about the flag thing in the last segment, and well, there's no rule that says I can't do it, so that means I can, right? And I feel like that's where the flaw is in the pardon system, if that's even a thing. Like, if you're going to pardon somebody, you can't just go, okay, every crime you've ever committed is now wiped away. I mean, you're not Jesus, okay? You're not washing away sins, right? Like, it doesn't
Mhm.
work like that. If you're going to pardon someone, it needs to be, okay, well, the crime that you were charged with on, Monday, December 16th, blah 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 blah, this charge, this charge, and this charge, and this charge are pardoned. Well, oh, well, you didn't, pardon them for the accessory charge. Okay, well, they're still culpable for that one. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, the pardon needs to be as specific as our legal system is
But
specific
I think it
with
can
the
just
charges
be
in the other
all
direction.
in every crime.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. I don't think
Right.
it should be.
But even in a
They're
perfect
talking about all
example,
these areas for reform. I feel like that's a loophole big enough to drive 5 lanes of fucking trucks through.
yeah, I mean, I can get on board with petty crimes like when marijuana was, a big thing. We were locking people up for it. Now we're like, okay, we got people in prison for something that's legal today.
Yeah, Bill Clinton got a pardon because he really did inhale.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, there's a town, there's a lady that Joe Biden just pardoned, or I don't know, he pardoned her. What's the other thing he can do? Get their sentence,
Stay of
whatever it is, where they
yeah,
consume their sentence or whatever, or they say it's been served. You're still
yeah.
guilty, but you're done. The lady that stole like millions of taxpayer dollars from this town, and the town is pissed off because this lady embezzled all this money from the town. They finally got her put in jail, and then Biden just pardoned her. And you're just
How
thinking,
long? How long did she sit in jail for?
I don't know, but what? Why? But
I
what's the
don't know.
purpose of overturning it?
Probably because she promised him half of it.
Yeah, right, right. Otherwise, did she pay it all back? And okay, now we'll let her go. You know what I mean? Like, really, what's the purpose? That's the part that really blows my mind. Is just like you were saying, there should be a valid explanation for this. You know what I mean?
And
Like, you don't even I wouldn't even pardon all the January Sixers. I would pardon the nonviolent ones. You know what I mean? If you've
yeah,
got legitimate proof that these guys broke something, then you do your time for what it is. I may reduce commute their sentences. I may commute the sentence if it's an excessive sentence, but that it just has to make sense. I don't think you should just get carte blanche to pardon whoever the hell you want for whatever you want. I think it ruins the whole purpose of the pardon. But anyways, we talked a lot about this. So just expect it. You know what I mean? Expected all these preemptive pardons, and I think your belief is what a normal society would be. But I'm telling you, he's going to pardon all these people, and nobody's going to bat an eye. People might be like, "Oh, that's wrong," but it won't make a damn difference. So,
And I feel like there should be. I know you're trying to get off this, but just one more point. I feel
yeah,
like, as a condition of the pardon, there should be certain things that you're precluded from doing from then on out. Like, you shouldn't be able to hold a public office anymore. Regardless of
right,
this, if you get a pardon for jaywalking, I don't care what it is. You now have an unrepayable debt, because really, I mean, the only person in this country that can pardon anybody, is a governor or the president. I mean, there's 51 people in the entire country that can pardon you for something. That is a virtually irrepayable debt.
right.
So if you've gotten a pardon, you're banished from public service at that point, in my opinion.
No, I agree. That's at least something worthy of the
Because I
pardon.
mean, what else? What higher thing can somebody hold over your head? If you're that lady that embezzled millions of dollars from your local government, blah 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 blah, you're probably looking at 25, 30 years for that kind of,
Yeah.
you know.
And
And
imagine
Joe
she went
Biden
back to
comes
that
in,
town and ran and got elected again because
yeah,
people didn't even realize who she was, or she got enough
right.
cronies, enough corruption.
Or she just moves to the next town a couple counties over and does the same thing over again.
Right. And nobody's
Right.
researching her.
Or even, it doesn't even have to be all that. Let's say she goes and runs for a state office or something, and then you've got, the Biden family now going, oh, hey, you remember that time I gave you 30 years of your life back? Time
Mm,
to pay the piper.
yeah. Yeah. No,
Right?
you're right. We need to do away with it, I think, or refine it. But we'll do away with this headline. Let's get to this last one. Some European nations will pay Syrian migrants cash to go home.
Why do you need to pay them to leave?
Maybe because they don't want to.
I mean, if, like, anywhere else in the world, if you're not paying your rent, you get evicted. Your landlord doesn't come in and go, oh, hey, I'll give you $50 to go, to leave.
Well,
That's not
he
the way it
might.
works.
You might if the government protects him. If the government says, "Oh, you could squat right here," then you might have to come in and say, "Hey, we'll give you money, get out of here."
But
But yeah,
man,
these are smart. These are smart migrants, right? And they're migrants. I don't know, what is migrant the same? Is that immigrant? Like,
yeah,
I thought a
yeah.
migrant moved around within the borders.
No, I think migrants are just nomadic people, I think is more along the lines of what you're thinking of. Migrants or immigrants, I think it's the potato sort of.
Really? I don't think they'd waste the two letters if it meant the same. But English has been stupid all around. So, anyways, let's go ahead and close this one out. You can migrate out of this show if you'd like, because that's what I'm going to do. Or you can immigrate out of this show and I'll migrate. Either way, thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. Thank you all for sharing, subscribing, and getting involved and all that other stuff, because we're so excited to see you guys all turn out. We appreciate it, Johnny, Christine, of course, you guys as always. And until next time, till then, Godspeed.
And pull the pin.
Thanks for joining us here. Pull the pin already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.